Champions Cup round number 2, folks. One of the final games, if not the final game of the round, sees Leicester taking on Stade Français. We're going to go through some squads, recent results, and predictions. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how this one may be going to go. Stade Français, one of the kind of lower performing teams in the opening round when they lost away at Sale, 28 points to 5. Leicester, on the other hand, had a pretty good win over the Stormers, 35 points to 26. But it's one of those ones where I've noticed there's a trend with a lot of the teams early on playing their strong team at home and sending a much changed side, to put it respectfully, to some of their away games. I feel like some of that is probably happening here as well. For Stade Français, they have brought in a number of players who didn't play last week. I'm looking at the likes of a Joe Marchant coming into 13. He'll be certainly familiar to all the Leicester Tigers watchers with all the time he has spent in the Premiership. They've also brought in Sekou Makalu, the French international, the forward that plays on the wing. He's at number 6. So I don't think I've seen Stade Français play for a few years, so I'm keen to see how he goes in the loose. They've also brought in Romain Briat at number 7. They've brought in Michael Ivaldi at number 2. And they've brought in Charles Laloy on the left wing. So there are several guys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, who start this week who did not even feature in the 23 in the loss to Sale. They've also chucked in Gabriel, who was on the bench last week, Passanti, also up from the bench, so it's an all-new locking duo who were both on the bench last week as well. And Stade Français, for some reason, are doing this weird thing where they put the couple of their backs in like numbers 20 and 21, but 22 and 23 are replacement forwards, which just kind of boggles my mind a little bit more, makes things maybe a little bit more confusing. Like, why is JJ Van der Mesch the big lock? Why is he wearing the number 23 jumper? Don't really know. And Chapuis is wearing 22. He's down from the starting team last week, where he made like 18 tackles against Sale. So he was certainly one of the top performers. The fullback, though, is the one guy I'm also looking forward to watching, Leo Barret. He beat 4 defenders in the game against Sale last week, so certainly is a danger man at the back. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Some of the side is the same, like Paul Alo-Emile, he's still there. Castells is still there, so it's the same props as last week. Most of the teams, if they have changed anyone, they've changed the props, but for the Stade Français guys, they've gone with changes in all kinds of other areas. For the Leicester Tigers guys, they have made a bundle of changes. George Martin comes in the second row alongside Sam Carter. So of the 4 locks starting, none of them played in the starting roles last week, but Sam Carter and George Martin didn't even feature in the game against the Stormers, so they are welcome back into the 23. Liebenberg, though, is one of the consistents in the number 6 jersey. Matt Rogerson comes in at 7, and Kyle Hatherall's up from the bench at number 8. I'll be pleased to see Solomon Akata get a run at 12, because I haven't seen that guy play for a while. He is certainly a big unit of a ball carrier. He's got a rugby league background here in New Zealand as well, so always a proper excitement machine. He's a bit of a journeyman at this point in his career, played for quite a few clubs. Dan Kelly's up from the bench at 13. English international Anthony Watson, alongside another English international, albeit a wee while ago, Mike Brown, at 14 and 15, so an experienced 14 and 15 with one of the youngsters, but also one of the excitement machine players, Ollie Hassel-Collins, there on the left wing. Shilcock and Whiteley are up from the bench to start at 9 and 10. It's an all-new front row. Cronin, Vaines and Hayes, all on the bench last week, all get a start this week. None of the starting front rowers for Leicester have made the starting or made the 23 at all, so you've got an all-new reserve front row combo on the bench as well. Joe Powell is also into the 23. Haven't seen him play since he left the Brumbies a wee while ago, so hopefully he gets some bit of game time. All the top stats guys who played last week, like Jasper Visa was the top defenders beaten guy, like Bassett, who was their top run meters guy. These guys are they're all just not playing. So yeah, it's much changed. Andre Pollard not playing. Yeah, basically name one of the guys who played last week, in all likelihood, potentially not playing. But stats-wise for the teams, Stade Français will certainly be looking to get their hands on a bit more ball than they had last week against Sale. They were limited to like 40% territory. They had to make more tackles. They conceded more penalties. Well, their tackling rate was all right, but they just didn't seem to have the possession to really make that much of it. Leicester, on the other hand, they had 12 clean breaks to the Stormers 3, so certainly a lot more kind of deadly in that X-Factor department, but they had fewer defenders beaten, so different kind of way to get into those gaps, and they also kicked 40 times, so a side not afraid to punish you with putting boot to ball if needs be. They have met, according to the site that I looked up anyway, back in 2016, as far as I'm aware, is the most recent meeting. Relevance of that, pretty much zero, but I just like looking up recent results, no matter how old they are. 41-13, Leicester Tigers, big win all those years ago, almost a decade ago. And but for this one, with all the changes Leicester have made, and I guess Stade Français have made too, Stade Français at home, pretty decent favourites for this one, 10 points according to the bookies, but you never know, man. The Premiership sides have been, I think, a little bit better than expected thus far in the Champions Cup. We're almost all the way through the second round, and the French clubs, the top 14 clubs, may be a little bit underperforming, but we'll kind of have to wait and see. Sometimes people ask me, how many videos do you own, Mark? You seem to have a lot of rugby jerseys. Well, the answer for now is up there in that jersey video done recently. It's over 100, so fingers crossed my wife doesn't watch that video. But yeah, if you're curious to see what jerseys are there, some of them are pretty old, some of them are pretty new, check that one out. Jersey video for this channel. It's a question which comes up fairly regularly. But yeah, you guys have any thoughts? How do you reckon Leicester is going to go over against Stade Français? Do you see the home side being too good, or can you see this much change side putting their hand up? You guys have any thoughts? And yeah, talk to you guys again soon.